I was born and raised right here in Cincinnati, and I was raised in church, and I had a pretty normal childhood, I would say.
Yeah, my family life, my upbringing was pretty normal. I wouldn't describe my parents or my household as really spiritual growing up. Like, church was a Sunday thing.
I think that my faith journey really took a turn when my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. So when that happened, I think my mom really was like, I need to take my faith serious. That caused me to really want to develop a relationship myself with God. And so I've had one with him early on. I want to say I gave up my life to Christ when I was 9.
The best way I can describe church or my faith journey for me was it just kind of didn't stick. Like I sat on pews. It was a Baptist, more very traditional church. I didn't really like the singing or the choir. The sermons just seemed long. The church just seemed hot. The people seemed hypocritical. That's just how I looked at church growing up. Like I said, I stopped going to church about 16 or so growing up. I would have some occasional brushes, I would say, with Jesus, but I wouldn't actually have a relationship with Jesus again, like a real relationship, until I was about 26. And a lot of people's church journeys go through multiple churches. Well, mine didn't. So church revolved around one church, one pastor, one experience for me. And then a major event, personal event happened in our life, and it just led to a major split. And we almost ended up getting divorced. I can definitely say we were at the brink. So we ended up just kind of fading away from our church. And then I was like, okay, we gotta go somewhere. How we ended up at Queen City, we can definitely thank David and Sarah Villanueva.
Our first Sunday was Easter Sunday. The Villanuevas invited us.
They were like, hey, you should come to our church. Our kids went to school together. And you're like, but we were in this place where we were like, yeah, sure, we'll come.
The service was great. And then after service, meeting people, just having conversations with people who actually just kind of want to talk to you and just kind of find out who you are. And it didn't feel scripted. It didn't feel like people were put into place to go and grab people and get people to join. That hasn't really been my experience with church. In and out of leadership, it's always been about what can you bring to the church. The people that I've met genuinely care about how I'm doing. I don't feel like God created us to be isolated and alone, and so I feel like those relationships are important.
We just fell in love with Queen City. We just saw just the people, the heart, everything.
I for real was I like this church. I want to be here. I'm not doing anything. That lasted all of 2 weeks. I was so excited about getting involved, and it wasn't because I know that I could be an asset. It was because I am being loved on by these people, and it sparks a fire in me. And how can I not give what God gave me to give out? How can I not give this to people? I get excited to put up banners. I like making sure the lobby looks its best. It is literally it makes me feel good. And I'm energized after I do it. I'm excited. And even just watching my husband on the greeter team, he has always served in a financial capacity. And just seeing him wave, he is so geeked to just wave and it's the funniest thing. Who knew?
Greeting has been world-changing for somebody who has served before. I get to, in that moment, for those 15, 30 minutes, whatever it is, make an impact and make somebody feel welcome.
I'm learning that through my serving, I'm finding my purpose in Christ. I'm doing this because this is how God created me to move in this space.
We just felt very comfortable here, and we could really see our family grow here, and that's what's happened.
And I remember looking at my husband and being this is home, bro. This is home. And in that moment, I knew this is where God is calling us, and this is where we're gonna get our healing. This is where this is what's gonna catapult us forward in life, period. I knew.
Queen City has been almost as instrumental as actually finding Jesus in my spiritual walk.
For somebody who's been in church her whole life, and to be able to experience God in a new way at 33, that's a game changer.